Hey there, model railroaders, general audiences, and all my other viewers and subscribers. Welcome back to City Life 187 scale. In this episode, we're going to be talking about how I do my sidewalks and how I do my marking of my pavements. We're also going to be discussing some of the structures. This is going to be a two-part series. This is one of two. So, what do you say we get on out there and get started? With the sidewalks, first thing I do, excuse me, I take the ruler and go about every half inch, which I've already done, and then I go ahead and mark it in pencil all the way down. Then next, I take my X-Acto knife and I go ahead and score it, all the marks. And usually a couple of passes will work. Sorry about my hand being in the way. I'll bring you in for a closer here after I'm done. Although you really can't see it until after I've gotten the paint on there. But this is the actual first step. And what this does is by scoring it, once I apply the paint, then I can just go back through and clean out the marks a little bit, and then it makes it look like a real sidewalk. Okay, now that that's done, take a little bit of paint. I'll show you one that I've already done and one that's in the process of drying. All right, so there's that. Let me bring you in for a closer view. So that's what that looks like. There's one that's already done. Okay, so now that the paint is dry, it took a couple of minutes to dry, and it gave you a better angle too. But now I'm going to go back through, and I'm just going to score this again. And then the end result is pretty cool, actually. Now, this is just cardboard. I don't know if I mentioned that or not, but with the cardboard, you can pretty much use any household boxes, that like, say, I don't know, macaroni and cheese, cereal box, just anything. You glue them together, put some books over top of it, let it dry. And, it's just a budget way of using some cardboard. I mean, if you're lucky enough to find some cardboard, that's fine. Certain areas I do use corrugated cardboard, but this is not one of these areas here because there's not going to be any driveway going up on it. In another video, I'm going to show you how I do that. It takes a little bit more work, but I will definitely show you that. Okay, so now that that's dry, let's see if we can get in here. Show you this. Okay, so once again, with the pencil, I marked off all the areas using the ruler. What I did also is I took a couple of vehicles, I placed it here by the sidewalk, and then I took my ruler and I measured it out. And I already did this. And kept just a little bit of distance there between the cars and the actual roadway. I went ahead and I marked it with the ruler. And I did the same with the lanes. So that's that. Okay, anyway, for the markings. I've actually been using this pen here, which is for the yellow. I don't know if you can see it or not. It's a paint marker. I think I got this either at Walmart, Hobby Lobby, or Michael's. I just can't remember which one. That's for the yellow, and that's for my center lines. And then I got the white one right here, which I'm going to use for like the parking stalls, the parallel parking. So without further delay, you want to shake it up first. And then I got a little scrap piece of cardboard here just to make sure that it's going to make the lines. And I'll go ahead and so that I have a nice straight corner or a nice straight line. And this really does help. So I'm going to take that and I'm just going to mark it like that. And I'm going to come over here to the crosswalk. To the other side. Now the object here is to let this dry before you continue with, oops, crosswalks in the wrong, no, yeah, okay, yeah, that's crosswalk. And sometimes you might have to go back over this. You want to put just a little bit of pressure on that when you're doing this. See, now that's too much. See how that, and it happens. But that's okay, because what we'll do is after this dries, we'll go ahead and just paint it gray again. That's something you got to be careful with when you're doing this. Now, see, this is dry, so I can make my cross mark right here. Okay, and I'm going to do the same over here. Crosswalk. And if it's faded a little bit, that's actually fine because it looks like the road has, been used for a while and kind of wore out. Because you know how pavement marking lines, they do kind of wear out after a while. Now, wherever I made my lines at, it doesn't always come out perfect the first time. So as far as with the pencil, so that I do have a bunch of eraser marks that you can actually see on the cardboard. But like I said, when all of this dries, we just take a little bit of great touch-up paint. Not too much. Yeah, we're gonna. Now, sometimes it gets on the ruler, and that creates what happened right there. So clean off the ruler. There we go. Okay. So what I'm doing with the scratch page is because you gotta poke the pen. Let me bring that over here so you can see. So you gotta poke the pen like that, and you see all that excess, and you just kind of want to do this. Now, when you're doing this, you want to put light pressure. You don't want to get it too heavy, and you don't want to get it too light. Unless, like I said, you want to give that faded look. I do swear by these pens, though. I actually like these pens a lot. All right. Now, this gets a little tricky here because the corner, obviously, you can't use the ruler on that. Even this sometimes not exactly perfect, but I tried painting the lines freehand on one of my other layouts. Didn't work out so well. Okay, so we're gonna let that dry. Let's try to get this crosswalk a little better. If you can, try to make sure your ruler is flat, because that definitely helps. There we go. That's nice. Okay. So I'm kind of bouncing around in different areas because what I'm trying to do is allow for this to dry. Like I said, sometimes it doesn't always come out, wants to come out too much. But as I've said before, I'm not a professional. Okay, so we're gonna let that all dry. Now, over here, I know you can barely see it, but right here, I went ahead and did the yellow. And then over here as well. And I will show you that soon. Okay, so right here, let's go ahead and make some of our lines for our parking lot. See how that one came out kind of thick. Can't really see it, can you? See how that one came out kind of thick? But we can live with that. Like I said, just light pressure is all you want to do. That's a good line right there. And just like with anything else, it is paint, so it will get all over your hands. Okay. Cleaning off the ruler. I think I need some water. That's what I think I need. I still have to do this side right here. I got to score this sidewalk as well. So let me go ahead and work on that. And I'll meet up with you soon. Okay, got all the lines painted and I touched up with the gray in the areas that were kind of messed up. So we're just going to scan over this real quick and then we're going to put the structures back on and we're going to talk about some stuff regarding the structures. Let me just pan real quick. My elbow hit the garage door. Now, there is one other thing that I want to do, but I currently don't have any. From past, if you take ivory satin and you just do little spurts. Now, I'm not going to be able to do this on camera because I don't want it to get onto the camera. You just kind of hold it up in the air a little bit and just give it little spurts, and it'll kind of dull this out so it doesn't look so shiny. So I need to go get some. So I will show you that on my next episode. Structures back on. Okay, so as I said, we were going to talk about some of these structures. So this one, this one, this one, this one, this one are all, there's not really a series, but IHC does this set. And IHC stands for International Hobby Corp. They were a company based out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. They were founded in 1982 by a Bernard Paul. They were a prominent importer and a distributor of HO scale models, trains, and obviously buildings. They were a successor to the hobby manufacturer AHM. They did several different product lines. They unfortunately ceased operation in the late 2000s. A lot of these buildings you still can find on eBay, but some of them are extremely hard to find. This whole series right here, or whole kit series right here, now all of their buildings, they start with the number 100. And I actually have several different sets of those, and we're going to talk about that. So this set right here starts with the number 14. Remember, having the 100 in front. So it's 114 through 118. Now, in my previous video, episode number 4, I believe, might have been 3, I said I still had to do some work on the structures. On this one over here, I actually did put the sign back on. And the rest of them, I really haven't done too much with. I actually have to go through and look closer and see what it needs to be done. This one here, I know I got to put this back together. This one here, this pole, it actually goes down here in front of the store. So I got to work on that. I know that some of them have some signs, so I'm going to just have to go through and look. This one over here has the sign, which is right here. Can't get to it right now. Come here. Editing fail. So that's going to go on there. As mentioned in a previous video, these two right here, this one right here, this one right here, and this one that I still got to find. Again, they're all IHC as well, and their number sequence is 119 through 123. I am currently missing number 22, which is the one that's going to be over here. Now the set that I had here, which is now where this house is and this gas station is, and we're going to get to the gas station in a minute, that also was IHC. I had 3 or 4 here, and then these 2 right here. And currently where the church is, there was 2 right here, which was this set, the rest of this set right here. So this set, as well as the other 2 sets that I just showed you, you can find them under the title of Homes of Yesterday and Today. This particular set, it starts with the number 100-7 all the way up to 100-11. Now I actually have almost 2 of these sets. I'm missing 8 and 11. I have a complete 7 through, 11? I have 7, 10, and 11, so I'm missing, or I'm sorry, I have 7, 9, and 10, so I'm missing 8 and 11. Now this set here is also IHC, but this one, they have it titled as Your Own Shopping Center. As you see, I got 3 of them done already. I got to still do these other 2. Now, when I started putting these together, I noticed that there were gaps in between the sidewalks. So I went ahead and I put some cardboard down, and then I painted it gray, so that way it looks like a continuous sidewalk. The number sequence for these is 144 through 148. Now, I actually do have another set. I'm not going to show you right now, but it will be in one of my later videos, also titled Homes of Yesterday and Today. There is one more set that I need to try to find, and it's been extremely hard to find. We will talk about that in one of my future videos. Now, for the gas station, this was a company called City Classics. I think I have a couple more of their buildings just not put together right now. City Classics was founded in 1988-89 by a Jim Sacco. I might be mispronouncing that. Sorry if I am. Anyway, they were based out of Pittsburgh. They have several HO as well as N-scale models. They actually ended up closing their doors in 2022. Now, more about the structure. This Coca-Cola machine right here, this actually came with it, as well as the pumps, the golf sign, and obviously the building. So the Coca-Cola though, this sign actually was from another thing that I had gotten for some vending machines. This is the vending machines. It's from a company called Showcase. This is where I got the sign from. You see right there. Showcase Miniatures, now based in Tuskegee, Alabama. They were established in 1955. They have various different vending machines that you can look for. They are in HO scale. I don't know if they're in any of the other scales. They're now currently under the names of Walter and Debbie Vale, and they have been since 2012. The vending machines, they're going to go into the hospital. Now, on this particular sign, after I put the glue on it, it kind of faded away. And at first, it kind of irritated me. But then I got to thinking about it. Well, the soda machine's been around for a while, so yes, the sign is going to be faded a little bit. The men and women signs on the bathrooms, I actually made them from my computer. The phone booth, The telephone sign above it, it actually came with the building itself. And I'm going to show you that in a minute. But the telephone, it actually came from over there where it was the build your own shopping center. Now, the tire, lubrication, alignment sign, they're all part of that gas station set. The blue lines right there, I actually had to paint those in there. That was fun. So right here by the garage doors, you see I had to put right here by the garage doors, you see I had to put a piece of cardboard because the garage door entrances were actually a little too high, and I didn't want to inset that because of the simple fact that I didn't want it to be even with the parking lot over there. I wanted the curb to be raised. So I went ahead and I did that. Now, the corrugated cardboard, which is the whole thing sets on. You see how I have that risen up and then sunk down, so that way the cars can come and go into and out of the gas station. Like I said earlier, I'm going to show you how I do that in one of my next episodes. And the sidewalk, it is made from cardboard and just painted. I did show you guys that earlier. The nice thing about this kit is you can see the different things that this comes with. So it's this, and this kit also comes with these signs. So you have many choices that you can choose from as far as what you want to do with the gas station. You don't necessarily have to do the golf. A few more things that I wanted to talk about along with for the gas station is the brick wall. I actually scratch built that. It's just some scratch built material that you can buy. I had it for a while, so I don't remember where I got it from. The mailbox, it actually came from another model from way back when. Right over here, and I don't know if you can catch it on the camera or not, but there's a couple of nails right there. And with these nails is what that's supposed to represent is the tanks. So when the truck comes in to fill up for the gas pumps, so that's what that represents. The tires and the ice machine both also came with the kit. I painted the tires. I also painted up the top of the ice machine. I painted these pumps. They were white as well. And let me try to get a little bit closer in so we can look at the hoses. Now, right here, you can kind of see it a little bit. The kit said it came with hoses, but I'd be darned if I saw them. So what it ended up doing was I got some black thread and I just put the black thread on there. The model glue was taking too long to dry, so I ended up using super glue. And you only have a certain amount of time with super glue. So anybody that's worked with that obviously knows that. The roof here, that was actually white, and I went ahead and I used the black poster board paper and put that on the roof. That made it look better. Inside, this right here, this is the countertop, and I actually scratch built that a long time ago, and it just seemed to fit well in there. These also came with the kit. The cash register, it was from one of the old battery compartment covers that you would put on some sort of electronic. I don't know what happened to that. So it's like the little pull tab to pull it off. I went ahead and I cut that off, and then I put this piece of paper here to represent, that it being a cash register. The walls, they also came with the kit. Now the floor should have been the other direction, my mistake. So I had to modify the walls just slightly so that it would all fit in there. The pumps themselves, I said, as I mentioned, they were white. I also put some white paper on those and just made little marks. I did actually make the mistake of coloring this a fluorescent orange, but I will show you that it actually was a happy accident. So I'll show you that. So my happy accident, Bob Ross, see how these are look like they're lit up? So that's what I was talking about with the black light. Now this is without the black light and with. Okay, so that concludes part one of this part two series. I'd also like to take a moment and say thank you and welcome to my new subscribers.